Welcome to Whitetail Rendezvous Podcast. This is Bruce Hutchin, host and executive producer. Each week you will hear tips, techniques, strategies, and personal stories from some of the best and funniest whitetail hunters in North America. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you do, tell a friend on social media. If not, tell me and I'll make it better. Thanks for listening, folks. This is Whitetail Rendezvous Podcast, episode number 394. Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. We're heading down to the Carolinas, and we're going to chat with John Criminger. Now, John is the author, owner, and pretty much camp host at Roadkill Art. What does Roadkill Art have to have, or what is it all about? Well, you're going to have to listen to the show to find out. But if you're in a bad mood today, boy, this is the perfect show for you, because he's going to have you rolling and crying, and the stories he's going to tell, because they've been hunting the same land for many generations. So we welcome John Criminger from Roadkill Art. And we're heading down to the Carolinas, South Carolina to be exact, kind of around, kind of by Columbia, South Carolina. We're going to meet with Mr. Roadkill Art himself. Now, you folks better listen, because John Criminger has some wild stories that he's going to share today, and he's going to give you the background on Roadkill Art. John, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bruce, how you doing? It's good to be here. I'm excited about talking with you and talking about what's going on in my world down here. Maybe I can share some stuff with y'all and let you see what's going on.
Well, yeah, you got some crazy world. That's for daggone sure. And we talked a couple of weeks ago and got ready for the show. And so let's start right off and let folks know what the heck Roadkill Art is all about.
Roadkill Art is, I tell you how it got started. I'm a taxidermist. That's what I do. And I do deer processing. I was up at the shop one day just doing some work, and around about lunchtime, I noticed two ladies walking up my driveway. And it was a producer and her name was Janet. She came up and started asking me questions about my life, how I live, what I do. There's a lot of taxidermists out there. Some of them don't hunt, some of them don't fish, some of them do. And she was looking for a taxidermist in South Carolina that lived outdoors. The family lived outdoors, the family hunted, the kids hunted, and that's what we do. And so I just handed her my phone. I said, look at the pictures on there and see if that tells you anything. And she looked at the pictures, and it was nothing but hunting and fishing, and that's all that's on there. And opened my freezer up and said, look, this is what we eat. So I opened this big freezer up I got out here in the house, and there's nothing but deer meat in this thing, and ducks and fish. So she was pretty excited about that, and that's how I got started. So the show is about a South Carolina taxidermist that lives off the outdoors, and the whole family hunts and fishes and does, the outdoor thing. But this is not something that we just started. They come up and said, hey, we're going to film you and act like you're a hunter or a fisherman. This is real life stuff. This is what we do, and this is how we live. This is what I growed up doing. I mean, I really don't know nothing else but the outdoors and and hunting and fishing and putting people's mounts together and saving the memories and even taking people on fishing trips and hunting trips and sharing the experience of the outdoors with them, man. That's what's important right there.
Well, this fine lady, Janet, now why'd she stop by your place?
I don't know. I think she had a flat tire out there, I believe it was, or a rabbit or something run over from off the road. Nah, I'm just kidding with you. She had went, I was a member of the South Carolina Taxidermy Association. So she went around looking for that right taxidermist, for that right person. So she goes on these lists of people for South Carolina, North Carolina, all these different states of taxidermists. And she went to these people and interviewed them and talked to them and found out, how they lived and what they did. And so she went through a few before she got to me. But that's how she found me, on the South Carolina Association of Taxidermists. And she got my name and got my number and called me, and then showed up at my door, and it's been going since then.
How long have you been doing this?
This is probably about a year and a half or so now, I believe it is.
No, is she like the executive producer of Roadkill Art? Is that what she does?
Yep. That's what she does. That's what she does. She's trying to take it to another level, and we're working our way up the ladder. We got a lot of viewers, we got a lot of fans. It's done got to where, I mean, people done got to know me so well around here. I mean, I if I go to the grocery store in 3 towns that we got around here, somebody's gonna walk up to me and ask me, "Are we still filming? Are we still shooting? Oh, I seen you in that video the other day acting crazy." You know that somebody's gonna know me from Roadkill Art.
Yeah, and I always like to say during our show, folks, that we're gonna have a lot of fun today, but it's real people in real places, and that's what makes Whitetail Rendezvous unique. And before we go on, tell people how they get a hold of you, John.
If they want to get a hold of me, any kind of questions, anything about hunting, fishing, whatever they want to ask me, you can reach me on the Facebook site Roadkill Art. Just like it sounds, Roadkill Art on Facebook. Go there, ask any questions you want. We respond pretty quickly, and we got some numbers on there also, and you can get a hold of me through Roadkill Art.
Now, I get the art part because I've got a couple mounts, and people like to see mounts, but what does it mean to you to be a taxidermist? Because really, you're creating memories, and we talked about that before. So let's kind of deep dive into, you know, what you do, and the memories you create that last years.
Well, it's an experience. I mean, you meet a lot of different people. Just I mean, if you hunted and you hunted all your life, or even if you started hunting last year, you got a certain group of people that you hang with, that you hunt with, that you fish with. But when you're in my kind of business, man, you meet them all. You wouldn't believe that the stories that come through here that people tell me of how they killed this deer, or how the wife killed this deer, or how the kid killed the first deer. And so that's pretty exciting to hear all that and see all that, and then be able to put that rack in my hands and take it in and say, okay, we're going to take care of it, and we're going to turn it into something you can put on your wall and make art out of it. I mean, that's pretty much what the taxidermist does. It's just it's an exciting job. It's fun to do, and if you love the outdoors and you love doing things with your family and hearing all the different stories, then taxidermy is the way to go. I mean, it's a good job to have. There's never a dull moment. I can guarantee you that.
Well, from last season, what's kind of a couple of humorous stories that came down your driveway?
Well, let's see. Let me think. I had a good one the other day. I'm trying to remember what the heck that one was, but I had a guy. I had a guy brought a huge buck in. He was an 8-point, but he was huge. He was an old deer, had good mass all the way out to the tips on the horns, and he had killed that thing on the deer drive. But he was telling me how they had let the dogs out on that thing, and the dogs was running because they do a lot of dog running. Down here, I don't know, what to do up there, but we do a lot of dog running there. They do. I don't do much dog hunting, but anyway. They was out letting them dogs out and had some standers standing out down there. So this guy's got the dogs, and he goes down the road in his truck. He's sitting there, and they down there. The dogs are hooting and howling, and they running some deer down through there. And he's sitting on the back of his truck on this chair they got screwed on top of the toolbox there. And said he's sitting there smoking him a cigarette. Didn't even have his gun out. Now, had his gun in the truck while he was sitting there. So he just got out first drive they did. Said he looked down the road, and there stood that big buck with his tongue hanging out, standing down there looking at him in the road. Said he jumped off that doggone truck, got tangled up on some stuff he had, fell off the side of the truck on his back, jumped up, looked, the deer's still standing there looking at him, opens the door, gets his gun out, and shoots the deer and kills it. Now, you tell me that ain't a way to kill the big one right there. That's a story he can tell his kids and his grandkids.
Man, that deer committed suicide.
Yeah. I think he told me that he thought that deer run out there was asking for him to shoot him.
My word, I've had a lot of deer look at me, and I was either indisposed or not ready, and he just kind of smiled and walks off and said, "That's
yeah, right."
I didn't have him pose for me. Say, "Come and get it, big boy."
Yeah, man, he said he just stood there just pretty as you ever seen.
Well, did he let you mount it?
Yeah, I got him. I got him in the shop up there. When he shot him, when they do them drives and all, they shoot buckshot shotgun.
Right.
And he knocked one of the G2s. He broke it off, knocked a big chunk out of the right side of the horn on the main beam. He did some damage to it. He said he was pretty shook up when he shot, especially after tumbling out of the truck and going through all that he had to do to get the gun up there to shoot him,
Well, folks, that's somebody else has probably got a similar story, but I haven't heard it yet. So tell me about the hunting tradition. I mean, you guys are hunting fools. I get that. You love to hunt. That's just part of who you are. So let's go back a few years and let's talk about how John got started in this whole outdoor affair.
Well, it's something I was born and raised in. I mean, when I was a kid growing up, I had two brothers. I'm the youngest one, and they never, Mom and Daddy, they didn't. When we went on vacation, they didn't go to the beach and lay on the beach or to the mountains to hang out, looking across the cliff, and just looking at the leaves changing colors. We went fishing or we went hunting. If we had the 10 in the truck, we was going camping somewhere where we could catch a big fish or shoot a big deer or even a little deer, just put some food in the freezer, And that's what we did. So when you're born and raised in like that, I mean, that's what you do. There's a lot of hunters that come up here I talk to, and they just started last year. They've been hunting for 10 years, and those are I don't know. They're when I'm talking to them, if I can see the difference in a hunter that has hunted 5 years between a hunter that has hunted all his life. There's a difference. There's a different kind of excitement. There's a different kind of talk. There's a different kind of everything that comes out of them, But when you've been doing it all your life, this is what I know. This is what I do. And my whole family does it. My wife hunts. My kids hunt. I mean, we all do it. We all love it. When my wife met me, she didn't deer hunt. I started her hunting, and now she can't wait for deer season to come in every year. She's got to go. But we've made it, talking about traditions, we've kind of got a tradition here to where, and we did it when I was a kid too, before deer season comes in, man, we all get up, we get the family up, and we get out and we cleaning out deer stands, we knocking down wasp nests, we dragging the snakes out of the deer stands down in the swamp, whatever we got to do to get everything ready. We make that a weekend deal. And that's something that I believe in doing with the family because that keeps them motivated. That keeps them going. That keeps them into it, So we get them out there and do this stuff with them. And it gets them jacked up, man. They waiting for deer season to come in. They ready for it to come in, ready to get out there and shoot something, But after we get done doing that, we come back to the house, man. We'll have something to put on the grill. We'll cook, sit back. And because of us being out all day doing the deer stand work and being out in the outdoors, getting ready for deer season, all the stories come out from last year. Everybody wants to talk about how Daddy missed a big buck or how, Brother Mike fell out of deer stand. Somebody's got something to talk about and laugh about. So we kind of made that a tradition. It's been going on for a long time, and we seem to enjoy it. It gets everybody pumped up and gets them ready to go, especially the newcomers in the hunting world and their family, like the kids and stuff. It gets them excited and gets them going. So that's pretty much a tradition we got going on around here.
You talk about years and years and years, and it really is a family affair for you folks and millions of other folks. It just brings family closer together. You think about the stories, sitting around the campfire, sitting around the kitchen table, sitting around the picnic bench, and just sharing the hunting tradition. And I thank you for that because the stories keep the whole thing going. The stories have been passed down from great grandfather to grandfather to father, and then the son, and then it keeps rolling on. And
that's right. Yeah,
that's over 100 years right there. Go back to great grandfather. Yeah. And so, the other thing I find interesting about you don't just do the taxidermy. When you get a hog in or a deer or whatever you guys get, you fix it up. So what's one of your favorite venison recipes?
We do a lot of we do a lot for the customers around here. We got a bacon burger that we do. Man, they love it. It's real good. My favorite one is I like to take the tenderloins, the inner loins, the little short ones that are on the inside. Man, I like to marinate those things in some Italian dressing and Worcestershire sauce. I about got tongue tied on saying that. Italian dressing and Worcestershire sauce, and uh you put your Italian dressing in a Ziploc bag, and every how much meat you got of how much dressing you need to cover that, you put half of the Worcestershire sauce. So every how much Italian dressing, put half of the Worcestershire sauce. So if you got a cup of Italian dressing, then you put a half a cup of Worcestershire sauce. If I'm making any sense to you.
Yes, sir.
And you take that, man, cut you up a good onion and put it in there with it, and take those tenderloins. I like to cut them up in some little chunks before I marinate them. Cut them up, get them put in the marinade, shake them up real good. You can put you some pepper, salt, any kind of seasoning, Creole, whatever you want to put on it. Put it in the refrigerator, marinate it for 2 days. And 2 days is the thing.
2 days?
Take it out. 2 days. Take it out, put it on some skewer sticks with some onions, bell peppers, mushrooms, tomatoes, whatever you want to put on it, and wrap them in some bacon and put them things on the grill, and just, you ain't got to cook them just a little bit on each side till the bacon's done. And man, them things will melt in your mouth, and then the flavor is just off the chain. I mean, it'll be excellent.
Man, I'm my mouth salivating just like that. Now, what kind of beer do you like to drink with that? Or you drink sweet tea, or you drink that other stuff that's out of the holler?
No, we get out of here. When we get out of here, when we built this house out here, I said, I want a back porch on this thing because I can overlook the swamp down here where we hunt at. I said, I want a back porch on this thing along with the house, and I built one. And we got a little cookout spot out here behind the down here off the bottom deck right here, man. We get out there and cook, son, and we'll drink some of them BLs, we call them around here, which is a Bud Light, and we have a good time, man. We sit out here and talk, shoot skeets right off the deck, and man, hey, ain't no dull moment. I can guarantee you
that. Now, do you charge folks to come out and eat and let them let you regale them in a comic relief?
No, but I should. We have a good time. I ain't lying. We have a ball. Every now and again, we'll get a little trailer out here. We'll set a little band up or something, bluegrass or some old country music or something. Shoot, we'll have a good time out here.
I guess you would.
Ain't nothing wrong with having good times.
Oh no, that's for sure. Nope. Now, do you hunt with shotguns now, or do you use rifles or bows?
We bow and rifle. We have a bow season, rifle season. Where I was, the next county over, where I was actually born and raised at, we actually had a muzzleloader season, but we don't have that over here in this county. But we got, but you can hunt with a shotgun if you want to, but it's just most people hunt with a rifle, and then we got the bow hunters that hunt during bow season. The hardcore bow hunters, they'll hunt pretty good bit during bow season. Our bow season is so warm around here. It gets so hot now during bow season. It pretty much weeds out the ones that, likes to sit on the couch a lot, and talk about hunting. And then the ones that are really dedicated and into it, they'll be the ones out there bringing the deers in with the bows,
Yeah, let's talk about, you told me an interesting story about a gentleman that came up the drive, and he was pretty all rigged out, and he had everything possibly that a guy could need to kill a deer. And tell us that story.
Yeah. We got a few of them that comes up here, but I had one. I think it was last year. He come up here. He's a new hunter. Hadn't been doing a whole long, a real long time, but he's one of those that's got all the right stuff. I mean, he's got the right clothes. He's got the right shoes. He's got the nice backpack, man. I mean, he's got it all, And but if I'm thinking right, if I'm thinking on the right one, because I got so many people that come up here, it's hard to keep up with all of them. But this particular guy, he had been hunting this deer. He'd been hunting a big deer, and he finally got him. but he come up here, man. He was so shook up he couldn't hardly talk, man. He was excited about killing that big deer. And the big deer that he killed was a big deer that them guys been hunting on the cutting club. They actually let that guy in. They like to let them guys in that don't hunt a whole lot because they don't think they're going to kill the big deer. But this guy actually killed the biggest deer that was hunting on that hunt club that they got. So they was kind of a little, didn't really like it too much. But he was excited. Now he was shook up. He was thrilled to death. But he was one of them that what I call the magazine hunters. If you know what I'm talking about, they're the ones that sit around and read all the stories in the magazine and go buy all the high tech stuff, and getting out there trying to hunt and been hunting 6 months to a year, But that's great, man. We love them. We like all kinds. That's what makes the hunting. That's what makes the stories, and that's what puts us all together in the outdoor world. It takes all kinds. It takes all of us, to make it happen.
Yeah, and that's so true. And we talked about common ground and everything. And, the joy he had because he harvested, a great buck. But then he came to you and said, I want you to, fix this up. So he's going to have that in his office or his den or in his garage or wherever he's going to put it. But, you're part of that. That's the intriguing thing I think about taxidermy, because we entrust our trophies. What size doesn't matter because it's a trophy, whether it's a bluegill or a big moose, really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because taxidermists keep that art again for us. They create art, and if you've seen some of the big trophy rooms that guys have pictures of them and stuff, and they can sit down and their eyes get glassy when they look over that crocodile or that raccoon or that I'm thinking one of the big fives of Cape Buffalo or something like that, or that rabbit, the first snowshoe rabbit they killed, or jackrabbit they killed with their 22, and they all tell a story. And it's just like, I love having guys like you on, because you're telling stories by your work. And I think that's really admirable myself. I don't know what their listeners think. Listeners, if you kind of resonate with that, just send me an email to this whitetailrendezvous@gmail.com. Let me know your thoughts, because we're talking today about making memories and roadkill art, and John down there in the Carolinas, he's just sharing stories. And let's talk about go ahead.
Hey, let me tell you this one real quick. Talking about me being a taxidermist and mountain stuff and all. I got a deer hanging in my shop up there in my showroom I got up there, and everybody that comes through that door, that's the first deer they see. That's the first deer they look at, and it's not because it's hanging straight across them when they come in. It's because he's a big deer. I mean, this thing's a monster.
Is he a pig?
And
is he a swamp donkey? Swamp donkey?
Yeah. He's a horse. My daddy killed that deer.
Yeah.
This is that you was talking about me being a taxidermist and the memories. Well, this is the one I don't like to talk about, because everybody comes in the door wants to know who killed that deer. Well, my daddy killed that deer. My daddy killed that deer out of my deer stand.
No.
Back when I was in high school, I had found a place on the creek, and a deer had it rubbed, and we killed decent deer. We didn't really never kill no big deer nowhere in that neighborhood down there anywhere, And well, I found this place on the creek down there, and there was an oak tree down there, big around as your leg, rubbed. And I said, man, that's got to be a big deer right there. But he had it rubbed for 3 years straight. And I finally went down there, and I got me a stand right on the creek, right on the rub. I had some stands down the creek everywhere. Never seen this deer. Christmas break, I was out for the whole week. I hunted that deer stand Monday to Friday, morning and evening, and never seen a deer out of it. Friday evening, Daddy gets home from work. He says, where are you hunting at in the morning? Saturday morning. I said, I'm going to hunt another stand that we put up on down the creek down there. I said, I'm going to hunt it. He said, I done told you, if you're going to kill that big deer, you got to be in that deer stand. I said, well, I've hunted it all week, Daddy. I'm going to go down there and hunt down the creek down there and hunt that other one. He said, well, if you ain't going to hunt it, can I hunt it? I said, yeah, go hunt it. He goes down there, and I hear him shooting about, 8:30 or something that morning. Unloaded a 30-06 on him. And, man, this thing, he's a big deer. But everybody, man, Hey, I'm proud of my daddy for killing that deer. I had got all my life to kill a big deer like that. My daddy's 70-something years old. He's still out there hunting. He gets out there, fishes, camps with us, and tracking deer through the woods and everything. But everybody that comes in that shop sees that deer, and I got to tell that story of my daddy shooting that deer out of my deer stand.
Okay, so why did Mr. Wonderful wait until you weren't there to show up? Now figure that one out.
Yeah, yeah. That's strange, ain't it? Never seen it. Never seen it. And back then, we didn't have all these deer cameras and all this stuff, technology like we got now. So, it was pretty much go down, find your tracks, your trails, your scrubs, your rapes, scrapes, and and that's how we hunted. And so we never seen the deer, never knew he was down there, other than that big tree being rugged. And I knew there was a big one in there, but I just didn't know it was that big.
Isn't that something?
But I lost some sleep over that one. Yeah, I lost some sleep over it.
So what's one of the funniest things that's happened to you, either gigging frogs or chasing hogs or hunting whitetails? What's one of your famous stories when everybody's sitting around and you're in the BL in a mood and you're all full up and you're just sitting there and the crickets are cricking and the flies are buzzing?
We used to have some game management land. We hunted up the river, so we'd have to put the boat in a lot, go up the river and hunt. There was two boats of us. There was me and my boat, and my brother, one of my brothers in my boat, and then my other brother, one of our good buddies, was in the other boat. We'd been up the river hunting all morning. We come down the river, both boats of us, and we got at the boat ramp. Buddy got out, went up, crunk his truck up, and backed the trailer down in the water. Well, my brother was in his boat driving it. He was going to drive it up on the trailer. He drives it up on the trailer, lit him a cigarette, put it in his mouth, stuck his finger up in the air, and he pointed and said, "Go ahead." And the boat ramp was pretty steep. Well, he got on the gas and started that old big F-150 4x4 jacked up. He got on the gas. He'd been long bought that thing. He was proud of it. He got on the gas, and them old pipes got to talking, and he went up that boat ramp. And my brother was hollering, "Whoa, whoa, whoa," but he couldn't hear him because the truck was so loud with them pipes he had on it. And he went up that ramp, and the trailer, they didn't latch the latch on the front of it. So as he was going up the ramp, the boat is sliding back off the trailer. They didn't come all the way out of the water, and it gets off balance. The boat hits the boat ramp. All I seen was my brother's cigarette fly up in the air. And then the front went down, landed on the boat ramp, and he just kept right on driving up the boat ramp up where you load up at. Ooh, but you talking about funny. That was funny. He stepped out of that boat on the boat ramp, and there was a woman on the bank over there fishing, and she was dialing the number and on the phone. You could hear her over there, "You ain't going to believe what I just seen." And she was laughing. Her brother steps out of the boat, and his face is just red as it can be, standing on the boat ramp, and they're setting the boat all the way out of the water, and he done pulled up there, getting out of the truck, wondering what the boat was at. That was pretty hilarious there.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! What do you tell your kids when everybody in South Carolina knows NASCAR and knows hunting and knows something about dogs and everything, but some of the kids, especially around Columbia, they could care less about hunting or hunting tradition. What do you tell their kids when somebody says you hunt and it's not a positive you hunt? It's like, what's wrong with you?
What do you
tell the kids? What do you tell the kids to tell them?
My kids to tell them.
Yeah.
That's what you're asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, my kids, it just comes natural to them. My kids are raised just like I was raised. I mean, they've been out running around in the woods since I had diapers on, and it just comes natural to them. It's like, they just, well, you don't hunt, who don't hunt? That's the way my little boy looks at it. He's like, "They don't hunt, Daddy? Why?" He just thinks everybody hunts, because that's just what we do around here. It's just so much between the taxidermy, the processing, and all the hunting and fishing we do. He just thinks that's a natural thing. And so he's just, it's just, he don't know how to talk to him. I don't reckon about, but as he's getting older, then he'll see that, he'll meet his buddies just like I did, where he'll have them starting to hunt, starting to fish. I got so many buddies through the years that didn't hunt, didn't fish, and they like to drink and do a lot of things and hang out at bars, I get them into hunting and fishing, and now they got boats, they got a family, they got a life. They don't hang out at the bars no more, and it just changed their life. And that's the good thing about the great outdoors is if you raise your kids to live off the land, even though they ain't got to, they can go up to a grocery store and buy this stuff that you don't even know what somebody's injected in it or put in it or how it was raised, you know. But uh, it's good to raise your kids in the outdoors. I mean, they may grow up and be doctors and lawyers and never have to go out and kill nothing. If they didn't want to, they can buy anything they want to. But if you raise them in the outdoors and teach them the right things, teach them the right way of life, teach them what God has given, has put on this earth for us to enjoy and have, and to feed us, and to grow us, and to make us live. I mean, that's pretty important to them. And if they learn that, it makes them, I believe it makes them a better person in life. It makes them respect the outdoors. It makes them respect people. It makes them respect animals. It makes them, you know, it's an awesome thing.
Yeah, I'm just sitting back, and that the last couple of minutes, it was a great summary of what thousands of people listen to my show think. And John, thanks for bringing that out and sharing that, because folks, John understands the hunting tradition. Can we all live like John? Can we live in the places? Can we do that? No, but just know that when you show up his place, then it's all good. You know, it really is all good.
That's right.
And
that's right.
We all come from different places, but hunting just it brings us together. I think that's the easiest thing to say. It just brings us together, and because of that,
yep.
We're better people. Now, if you're somebody that doesn't believe in that, that's fine. Send me an email. Tell me why you don't believe in it. But other than that, it's all special, and I just think that's marvelous that you could share and articulate that. You know, when you think about hunting whitetails in South Carolina, how do you guys hunt them? Is it any different than we hunt them in the Midwest, or you know, how do you actually hunt
them? Well, I've never been out that way and hunted. I've never had the opportunity to do it. Maybe one day I'll have that opportunity, but out here, this is I've never hunted anywhere else. This is the only place I've ever hunted. You know, I growed up poor, and when we hunted, to put food on our table, or caught fish to put, you know, food on the table, whatever we did. But hunting out here is we got a lot of woods, we got a lot of in the part of the South Carolina, I mean, we got a lot of sand, we got a lot of blackjacks, and they pretty much coming in and wiping out all the oaks. I mean, it's pretty much pine trees. We used to have a lot of pretty hollers and valleys and just full of oak trees, but they're starting to fade away. And but it's so we're really actually having to change our hunting style. Used to, we could go out in these hollers and find these big oak hollers with the acorns dropping and get on the acorn trees and the trails and hunt and kill deer. But with all the pines coming in, and I mean, it's a whole different thing now. Now the deer don't have anything to eat in the pines, so they're just traveling through it. So you have to get out there and do your food plots and do your put your food source in to try to hold some deer on your land, or at least get them while they're coming through your land to come through a place where you can have the opportunity to take one, you know. So it's got pretty interesting around here within the past 10, 15 years with all the timber being cut and the pine trees. But to be honest with you, it's almost feels like we're starting over again in the hunting and learning it, but it takes some figuring out. But once you figure it out and get you a good clear cut or somewhere to hunt, figure out where your deer's walking, set you up a stand and hunt it and look for your signs, your rubs, your scrapes, your trails where they're crossing the creeks, and your bedding areas, and hunt around them. On the property that I hunt on out here, and one of my daughter's stands is one of the best stands we have out here. There's a big thicket down in the bottom. And this thing is thick. It has got trees, old trees just laying in there all on the ground. So it's a great bedding area for the deer. They love it. There's water source runs through there, and they just they bed all in there, but we never go in there unless we have to go in there to track a deer to get a deer out. We just got stands around it, and my daughter's stand, we got it on a hill with a little shooting lane cuts that goes down to the edge of the thicket there where they lay at. And the thicket's probably not, but maybe I don't know, an acre and a half or something like that. But we just hunt around it, man. And them deer come out of that thing and they go move around in the evenings and come around the edge of it. And it's almost every time she hunts that she'll sit there and watch. She just go up there and sit and watch deer. She can just kind of pick one if she wants to shoot it, or she's getting where now she likes to let them walk, and she's wanting to kill a real big one, so she'll let them walk and hoping on the big one to come out and come home and tell some stories about what she's seen and how they was acting and what they was doing, you know. But a lot of dog driving, or there used to be. They kind of cut it back a little bit, but there's still a lot of that going on. But it's starting to, they actually had a bill up to pass a law where they was trying to end the dog hunting around here, just because of property problems with, you know, people that, there's so many people that still hunt here. They don't like the dogs coming on their land. And there's a lot of dog hunters here that lets the dog, well, they don't let them. The dog's going to do what they're going to do. So, you know, they just go over there and get them, don't ask permission. And then they end up shooting the deer on the guy's land while they over there retrieving their dogs, and causes a lot of problems. So they're trying to end it. And, but it's mostly still hunting and thickets and pines and clear cuts is what we got out here.
You know, just thinking, you know, how we have to adapt to what happens in our terrain. It could be a tornado coming through. It could be a fire coming through. It could be a blight coming through. And you know, the hardwoods are taken out and they're coming in with, you know, with trees that grow a heck of a lot faster than an oak tree. And it's commercial. But it's interesting, as a deer have to adapt to the terrain and the food sources, then you have to adapt to where they're going to be, because that place that Uncle Bob had killed a deer 10 years in a row doesn't exist anymore.
That's right.
Just doesn't exist anymore. So we have to be very adaptive to that. And how many acres do you have down there?
I got about 200, right at 200 out here that we hunt on here. Just my family. And there's all kind of public land around here to hunt on. We don't hunt it a lot. I turkey hunted a little bit, but not as much as I used to. But we got 200 acres here, and I got a swamp in the back. When I bought this property, I bought it because I had the swamp. We got ducks, and I was looking out for my kids growing up because I want them to be, you know, raised in the outdoors. So we got ducks, we got wild hogs, we got deer, we got turkeys, squirrels, foxes, bobcats, you know, whatever, you know, they want to hunt, they can hunt it out here. And that's why I bought this property. We don't have to go anywhere if we don't want to. Used to, I had to travel and go here, go there to hunt, and an hour to get on a piece of property. I had permission to hunt, but since I was fortunate enough to get the property that I have now, we can do everything right here. We can get up in the morning, fix us some breakfast, and take our time, and then go out the doors and want to go one way and the other go the other way.
Now, what's the closest you've shot a buck or a doe? It doesn't matter. How close to the house have you killed a deer?
Oh, well, I since I started doing the deer processing, I don't get to hunt as much as I used to. So I told my wife, she said, "What you gonna do? You love to hunt, and you hunt all the time, and that's gonna cut you back on your hunting." And I said, "Well, I got to do something." So I went out behind the shop. Probably it can't be no more than 60 feet. And I put me a little ground blind on the ground in the woods right there. Cut me a shooting lane down through there. And man, I kill a lot of deer right there. My wife, I can sit there and hunt, and if somebody pulls up at the shop, I'm right there. I just get up and walk out. And then if they drop something off or whatever, I can just ease right back in the stand. And I've done that many a times and killed deer. And so it works out pretty good for me.
So can you answer your phone from your deer stand?
No, I can't answer the phone, but I'm working on that. I'm working on that.
Truth be told, I had some friends down in Texas, and I couldn't believe his deer box. Anyway, and he had Wi-Fi. He had everything he needed. He left his office for his office. I mean, he says, "I gotta go hunting, and I'm gonna keep working." and
Yeah.
and so he'd be set up working in his deer box with his lazy boy or whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, hey, that ain't no different. Somebody going up here to what's the coffee place? Everybody goes Starbucks. Going up to
Yeah.
Starbucks and taking their laptop. You go in there and it looks like everybody's at their desk and they're doing work. It's just their desk is out here in the middle of the woods.
It's funny, folks. We're just kind of rambling on and hearing stories from John and Roadkill Art, and tell folks how to get a hold of you again, John.
All you got to do is go to Facebook, look up Roadkill Art on Facebook, and they can question me, ask me questions, see your pictures. Man, we got all kind of videos on there. I'm talking about frog gigging, and I ain't talking about gigging them little old bullfrogs now, them little toads a lot of people won't call. I'm talking about some what we call swamp chickens around here. And these things are huge. So go on there and look at our videos. Check us out, man. Like us on Facebook. Join the crew and see what we got to offer. And we got a lot more coming too.
Well, I think that's just exciting. And when you think about the hunting tradition, well, folks, go to Roadkill Art and you're going to see, what family surrounded by the outdoors is all about. And with that, we're gonna give John a few minutes here to give some shout outs to all the people supporting him and his sponsors, if he has any, then his cousins, uncles, neighbors, and whoever else is in his tribe down there. So, John, the mic's yours.
All right, thank you, Bruce. I appreciate that. But hey, yeah, if y'all want to give us a look up, man, look us up on Facebook. See what we're all about. We're a family. We stick together. We hang together. We live the great outdoors. We laugh, we have fun, and it's a way to keep the family together, and it keeps everybody motivated and going. And so for everybody, Janet R. New, she is the producer of the show, and we're taking it to some new levels. And I want to thank all my fans out there too. I got a lot of fans out there that like to ask me questions on there and want me to do a video or show them how to catch a big catfish or gig a big bullfrog. So y'all just keep watching us, and we'll show you how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, we're gonna show you how to do it. And it might not be everybody's way, but I guarantee you we can show you how to put some fish in the boat, some frogs in the pot, or some tenderloins from a big buck in the frying pan. So y'all just hang out and keep an eye on us and see what happens.
Well, with that, Mr. Roadkill Art, it's been a pleasure, John, to have you on the show. On behalf of thousands of listeners throughout North America, this was a hoot. And I don't know how it's going to work out, but when I'm blowing and going and traveling, once Whitetail Rendezvous gets funded or gets supported by folks and we make some money, I'm going to be on the road because I want to take the show to you guys because you're the heart and soul of what we do here at Whitetail Rendezvous, having real people in real places. So, sir, thank you so much for being a guest on Whitetail Rendezvous.
Hey, I appreciate you having me, Bruce. And anytime, man, call us anytime. Any questions? Anybody wants to know anything about South Carolina hunting? Just let me know, and we'll do what we can do. I appreciate talking on here. I hadn't got out y'all's way and done any hunting. Maybe one day I can get out that way and see what it's about out there.
Hey, you're going to want to listen to the next episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. We're going to head up to Idaho. We're going to connect with Steve Speck. Why we're heading to Idaho? Well, Steve owns Exo Mountain Gear. And if you listen to a couple of shows ago, Matt Gray geared up, headed out to Colorado with a DIY license over the counter. And he got a bull, and he and Steve got connected after that. And Matt learned some of the ins and outs of backpacking for elk, and that's what this story is going to be about. This episode, Steve Speck's going to take it apart and tell you what it takes to backpack in the backcountry, DIY, with Rocky Mountain elk. It's going to be a great show, folks.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, where you can listen and learn from the experts so you can be more successful on your next hunt. Until next time, listen, learn, and succeed.